Hello, welcome back, and what a beautiful day to give you an update on the installation of my solar roof. I'll show you in a couple of minutes how they're putting those nice tiles on the roof. But I believe it's also time to talk a little bit about the power, what it can generate, what changes you need to make to your installation to have such a big roof working efficiently. Right, so I'll take you in the details of, let's say, the power we have here. We're here in Switzerland, so most of the houses have three-phase current, what that implies, and also what I did actually to not over-exaggerate the power to bring to the house. You know, one of the most often comment I hear is, oh, if everyone would have an electrical car, you would need to put so much more power to the house. And what you will see here in my project, when I started 3 years ago with an electric car, as I really optimized the power I already had without increasing the power of the house. And well, we'll see how that went. So not sure if those guys were used to those installation before. It's quite an unusual setup for setting solar panels. You see this fish scale or dragon scale way of assembling the tiles, and so what we realized what was the easiest way is to do some diagonals, and well, it's a steep place, so not easy. So here is one of those panels. Let's have a closer look at it. You see it's glass, tempered glass. It should hold off a lot, and there's just one connector behind. Hopefully you can see the power output. It's rated at 115 watt peak. It's nearly 1 square meters. So it's not the best thing you can find. Every month you get a new announcement on a more powerful plate, but it's already good. So you see it's a nice exercise here. One guy having to screw two screws to hold the plates, but the other one has to basically lift it up. So in total, as a spoiler, I can already tell you now, well, we broke in total 3 plates. So part of the installation will mean breaking 2 plates. Right, so yeah, if the roof is steep, I've had a talk with the tinsmith who usually does also some other kind of roof installation, and well, they found that there can be some optimization in how you lift those panels or how you bring the panels directly on the roof, and to avoid all those way up and kind of delicate process of holding them down. So two seals, one at the top and one at the bottom, and that's enough actually to keep to avoid any leak on the roof, and it's quite clever. So you always have this this rubber thing here, and that's also where you put the 2 screws. So if we look at how they will put it, it's always one screw is already on the wood and the other one fits over the glass panel, and then you still need to put the connector together, and not sure about the exact name of that, but there's kind of it's from SolarEdge to optimize power optimizer, I think it's called, and so they put between 3 and 4 panels per optimizer, so there's quite some work in planning beforehand to make sure that the right cable is the right place, and you will see that at the end, once it's all done, and here we see it goes into the screw. It will be much easier on a less steeper roof. The cable, and I believe it's a matter of training. This is the first side of the roof. By the time they do the second time of the roof, the second pane of the roof, it's going to be much faster. See, just a rubber seal here and the screw on top, plug the cable, and that's it.
they never decided to walk on the actual glass panel. It's supposed to be strong enough to walk on it, but due to the fact that here we have a huge steepness, we had, I think it's something between 35 degrees or so quite steep.
So quick look at my current switch box. Well, we already had an upgrade here, but you have to imagine before I actually started to even have an electric car and even think about solar and everything, there was a different meter here, kind of an older one, but well, it does the trick. This one is able to count incoming current and outgoing current. So this is because we're going to inject. So well, it was a big meter here. There was a switch here that stated 20 amps. This was not there. I'll talk about this later. And you basically had only this series here. So it's three-phase. If I open up here, you would see 3 load cable, 1 neutral and 1 ground. And those load cables, you can then either use it for one switch, like here, it's the oven, like the stove, it's also on 3 switch, and even the dishwasher, it's a 3-phase, what we have here. And again here, the washing machine, again also 3-phase. So when we decided to have an electric car 2 years ago, you saw it on the switchboard. We have a limited output. 20 amps was written on the switchboard, and I really wanted to have one of those Wallbox here, so I could charge the cars without any worry at night. And I wanted one of those Wallbox, right? So I bought a Tesla. You basically think I want a Tesla charger, and well, you have 20 amps available with 3-phase, and the charger is going to take 16 amps. So that's only 4 amps left for the house. That's kind of a barrier, right? So that means that you cannot load at full time. You need to adjust, otherwise your switch is going to cut the power. So yeah, I started inquiring with electrical engineers, and I always get the same reply. Say, oh my god, 20 amps, that's not enough. You need to have 40 amps for your house. It's an old house. You're never gonna make that. You're gonna need to upgrade. So I called the utility company. Utility company says, oh look, I'm looking at your subscription. It's written that you have only 16 amps. Ooh, if I have 16 amps, I want to charge the car with 16 amps. That's not much left. So that was kind of bothering me, but it's something you can upgrade. So I asked for a quote, and this is really specific to Switzerland. If you want to upgrade, they charge you 140 Swiss francs per amps. And well, you're going to basically think, okay, they probably need to rewire the house and everything, and so on. And so I talked to the electrical engineer, and he said, no, you need to check the entry of the house where electricity comes in, and then we can see what kind of switch is in there. So if we open up this one, not supposed to do it, but if we open up this one, we'll find out that there's actually a 25 amp in there and 25 amps. Wow. But so how come guys ask as much? So you know, if you would ask 40 amps, of course they would need to open up everything here up to the road, wherever the electricity comes from. So that's why they're charging you 140 Swiss francs. That's kind of $140 per amps. Quite amazing. But in the end, here, if I want to go up with the power, up to 25 amps, doesn't cost me, wouldn't cost actually nobody anything. It's just changing a line on your contract, and it's not even changing the rate of the contract. It's not changing anything. And so what you see here, I'm gonna open it up here. There we go. I'm gonna open it up. Some screws. Normally there's some bundings around. I'm not supposed to do it, but here, as we had to upgrade the electrical engineer needed to have a look, and whenever the solar roof is going to be finished, we're going to inspect everything. So here we go. So quick look here at how that looks like. You can see there's a cable here, 3 phases, the neutral, and here we go, the neutral is the blue one. And that's basically it, right? And those one, they're rated 25, and this cable actually is rated 25. And I think the electrical guy told me this rating here, this cable, the entrance, that would be something like 60 amps. So up to 16 amps, they actually don't even have to do something, but then you still need to change this cable here. This cable goes in the house, and this one you really need to change if you want more than 25 amps. So here we go. So coming back to my switchboard, main decision was there will soon be a solar roof. We probably will need to change everything for the electricity. I want to charge my car with a way to optimize this charging, right? So we know there is some Wallbox that you can steer, and so I asked the electrical engineer, well, I don't know any technology would basically could measure the current, so just give what's left out of the power that I can use in the house, so they can only charge the car with the Wallbox deciding what there is left. And the guy said, well, you know what, that would be great, that would be existing, but I don't know of any technology that does that. Well, so I searched the internet, searched and searched and searched. I found a lot of, Raspberry Pi projects where you would basically add to your switchboard, and you could measure the current, and then you need to find a Wallbox that kind of has open protocols that you can talk to. And I even found some guy that were reverse engineering the Tesla Wallbox, so you could basically send a signal to lower or increase the power. That was very kind of time consuming, and means a lot of work to maintain. You have an electric car, you have a charging station, needs to be reliable, right? Your switchboard, you don't want to mess with that. This is an old 100-year old house, it's in wood, so you don't want to take any risks. So well, I continued to search, and I found a very nice Wallbox that was provided by the Swedish utility company that had a small device that, as they said, that would only use the current left to give the Wallbox. I don't know the specifics of Sweden, how they provide power to their house or so on, but there was definitely some clever things. It's called load management, right? And you hear from this word everywhere in the world, load management. This is what you need to do when you have 10 Wallbox, one after each other. They need to communicate to each other. So why doesn't that exist? I searched and searched and I searched and I searched, and I found this one here, HomeCLU DEFA, that was compatible with German-made Wallbox. And basically this little device here is measuring what we currently use. And with an app, I think it's wired. It's with a wired connection. You set up the device, how much power you have in the house. So at the time, I knew I had a 20 amps switch here. I knew the house had a 16 amps contract, but I knew there was 25 amps outside. I showed you this, so I knew with 20 amps I had no worries. So I set this device to 20 amps, and whenever the house is using it, the washing machine, the stove, or everything is using some amps, it reduces the charge of the electric car. I'm gonna do a little demo of this. It's quite interesting. So this thing is only small device that measures the current inside, and is by RG11 cable. I think it's RS458, is connected to the Wallbox, and it tells the Wallbox, hey, that's so much amps you have available. Right, so now I've upgraded to 25 amps. I will be able to set this little device here to 25 amps. I don't know if that's gonna work with the yeah, that's gonna be tricky. So how is this thing gonna know that the current is injected in the utility company, or if I'm using it, I'm gonna have to try it. But otherwise, I'm gonna just retire this little thing because it has done its part of the job. I'll see how that goes. Right now, nothing is in service. We've just added the switch of the solar edge inverter and the solar edge energy meter. So again, there's going to be another energy meter here to measure what is actually consumed and what is left for other devices. Yeah, so that's it for this. So let's have a little demo with the car. I think that's so funny. So let me show you what that means actually. So I'm gonna open the charge port here. There we go. I would do that with the cell phone normally. So here we go. And we charge the car, right? So let's have a look what the car says. Let's put it like this. So what does the car say here? 16 amps, 12 amps, 13 amps, 14 amps, 15 amps. Yeah, basically you can see that it's playing with the available current. So we do use some current right now in the house. So what you see here is it's able to use 14 amps. Okay, so let's quickly go inside the house. So 15 amps, let's quickly go into the house and switch on some devices and see how that affects the system. So here we go. Let's put it on. Let's go into the house. Switch on the oven. Why not like this? Switching on the oven. Okay. Making some water to boil. Go and I'll see the effect on the car. And now let's see what that makes on the car. Yeah, exactly. Oh, turn lights. So yeah, goes down to 3-phase and it's only 6 amps left, but it's still charging, and it's still charging 20 kilometers per hour. Yes, it's a small amount, but that means basically I can set up stuff in the house. I can start charge. I don't have to worry. I'm not using more current than there actually is in the house. So quite nice. It's power management how it should be. I don't need more power than that. Yes, if suddenly I need to charge the car and nothing else, I would have to switch off all the other devices, right? This is how it's working. So yeah, quite a nice tool. I love it. It's been charging the car like this since 2 years. Never had an issue with that. And yeah, cool stuff without any need to upgrade any current electricity system here at home. But now, yes, with the solar panels, it will change. Well, I'm moving to 25 amps. I've required that change to the utility company. So I'm gonna have 25 amps. So I could actually already switch it on 25 amps. And so I'll probably never be in this situation again. Although now I could have everything, but I still need to understand how that will work with the panels, giving the power, injecting back to the utility. How will the system measure it? Okay, let's have a look to the switchboard, how this is organized. So here is how this looks from the inside. Do it. Voila, here we go. So, out of the meter, you see the 3 phases arriving here, and then what you will see is the power going back distributed here on this side, and here every phase that comes out of the main switch box is then measured by this device. here, and this device with this cable gives all the information back to the charger. So yeah, what you see here is 3 devices to measure the voltage of each phases plugged here, and here you have the RS 485, which goes over this cable to the charger, and this is just here an electric device to power this device, right? And what we have here as well, oh cool, so I see that they've put, right. So what you see here is the same thing to measure the solar that we're gonna produce. Wow, that's nice. Okay, let's start to unmount the panel here and see what's hiding here. So once unmounted, we see here the switchboard with the solar age meter and the cables that go to the sensor that is back here that we saw before. Network cable here that comes out from the inverter. Well, we see how they've planned to put that to my actual network. I don't think they didn't plan for this yet, or the cable is somewhere. I saw 2 cables coming out from the inverter that should arrive here, but we see how this is supposed to be. Nice.